I just watched a pretty good talk with Matt Dickson from BitBoss. He's co-founder there. I really like that project, and I think it's got a great name. So
thank you very much.
You're primarily concerned with online gaming, but there's actually a physical casino component to it as well.
Yes, there is. So we've designed a hardware product that gets inserted into slot machines so that we can route cryptocurrencies on and off slots, mainly in the form of tokenized, which is just a replacement for a casino chip or a credit.
So, I mean, I guess the first question casino operators are going to ask is like, why is this better than the one I'm using?
So what we're really trying to do is replace the ticketing. So when a player hits the cash out button, they get a paper ticket.
Right.
It's an inanimate object. They have to be cataloged and searchable. There's a big regulatory component behind them it's not very difficult for the casinos, but it's there. But what the casino ends up missing a perfect opportunity to integrate and to communicate with their customers' cell phones.
Right.
And we think once casinos realize that they'd much rather be talking to a player's cell phone than just giving them a plain paper ticket, we'll have a lot of adoption.
And I guess, is there an opportunity for more data gathering that way as well?
There's massive data gathering.
Can we actually talk about that?
I did. And it's more than that, though. It's really the marketing, because casinos are all about marketing and making their players feel welcome. And I saw a Wall Street stock analyst the other day. He said there's probably 4 or 5 apps that are going to dominate the phone. I mean, we all know about the Starbucks app, right?
Yep.
I mean, you can't wait in line at Starbucks where 80% of the people aren't using that app.
Uh-huh.
Actually, the Domino's app was listed as one of the main apps, the Domino's Pizza app.
That app sucks.
Yeah, well, people like it, and it's very highly used. And we think that casinos need to get into this space fast. They need to have an app that has utility. So a lot of casinos have an app already, but it doesn't have a lot of utility to it. And they're trying to find ways to add utility, but the natural utility is to allow their players to walk around the casino with credits and go seamlessly from device to device, table to table, into the room, online, offline, physical world. That's where we really see the benefit.
Right, and I know you also covered this in your presentation, but this is for people who didn't get the luxury of seeing your presentation here. So why did you choose Bitcoin SV in particular?
Well, I think, A, the transaction fees.
Yeah.
The ability to negotiate with miners. If I go to a physical casino and I tell them, we're going to create a system where your players can cash in and out of slot machines, but one day that may cost you 5 cents, and the next day it may cost you $1. It's a non-starter. With BSV, I can basically do 1,000 transactions for $1. I can guarantee myself that price over a fixed period of time by talking to the miners. So I can go with 100% certainty to a casino, and I can say, this product works. This is a much better replacement for what you already have, and the business aspects behind it work financially.
Yeah.
Unlike a lot of traditional, other blockchains where fees vary widely, speeds, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, it's funny because a few of the people I've spoken to on this topic, they said I'm kind of amazed by the slow take-up of the gambling industry, because it seems like a natural fit. So
I think what we've come to realize is the gambling business has so much money invested in what they already have. Mm-hmm. To go to them and say, what you have is working, but you should switch. That's why we got into the whole physical casino world, because we needed to give them that extra impetus to try this technology.
You got to give them something much better, right?
Much better than what they have. And you have to give them a plan. You have to say, if you can implement this, if you can get your players using your app, if you can get your players storing your credits on your app, you've KYC'd these people, you've AML'd these people, it's a natural step to now move them online, and you can save $400 to $800 per person in marketing costs. Now you've captured them online. You don't have to remarket to them. So
So when you get these guys into a meeting, when they've actually agreed to talk to you, like you walk into the room, what's like the first thing you say to them? Because I just get the feeling like these guys are gonna kick you out if you don't wow them within about 30 minutes. Is it like that, or are they a bit better?
A lot of the big operators in the U.S. Are more. So they've taken a lot of the control away from the floor operators, the managers of the floor, and they've brought it more towards a data level. So you're dealing with typically a younger decision maker who generally understands the technology better than the old school, kind of what you see in a movie, the pit bosses. Mm-hmm. So it is becoming easier for us to talk to this generation.
Yeah.
The only issue is they haven't really done a lot with cryptocurrency themselves. They may have bought Ether, they may have bought BTC, whatever it may be.
Even that would be a plus.
Yeah, that'd be a plus, just so they know how it works. But then to get them to make the jump from just simply owning crypto to understanding that it's not about the coin anymore. It's about the chain. It's about how you can empower your business by using this chain that has scalability, that has security. Security is built into every transaction. That's one of our main focuses, I think. So security and the integrity of the money system in a casino is huge. And all of a sudden we're saying every single transaction that goes through your casino, you now have security built in by default.
That's right.
At the transaction layer.
Mm-hmm. Without waiting for the confirmation.
Exactly.
So yeah, you had a pretty interesting thing that you were talking about in the way you were using transaction inputs and outputs.
Yeah.
Could you describe that for us again?
So we're very lucky to be in the real money gambling business.
Yeah.
It's one of the only transactions you do in this world where you give money and you get money back.
Yep.
You're not sending money, waiting for a confirm, hoping that the client sent you, a real transaction before they walk out the door with a stereo or whatever it may be. So we're very lucky in that regard. But what we do is we take the outputs from the bettor's transaction. When they make the transaction, we take their outputs and we use those for our input when we pay them back. Mm-hmm. And if they try to double spend us, our payback becomes invalid. So they can choose, do they want to double spend and just end up in a zero-sum game? Or do they want to potentially win what they're trying to win?
Of course,
we don't have to worry about block times. Mm-hmm. So to us, block times just melt away. And all the reasons that people use Tron and EOS and Ethereum to try to do gambling dApps is negated.
Right.
And we think that the proof of work concept, the true vision, is what makes this workable. We think that the concept that we're going to scale this up to massive transaction volume works for the customers we're talking to, because the people we're talking to deal with billions and billions and billions of dollars a year. Now, like I said on stage, our first potential customer we talked to handles probably $37 billion a year in cash. I mean, that is a staggering amount, and I can't divulge where they are.
That's right.
They're a major player, but if I told you where they are, you'd be shocked. And if you take that concept to Macau or Las Vegas or Atlantic City or the Philippines or to Cambodia, to Singapore, all the major gambling destinations around the world, it's literally trillions and trillions of dollars. It's a massive industry that people just don't quite understand.
Now, speaking of Asia, I'm kind of interested in that myself, and that's where we are today. So you were talking about the Chinese casinos in Macau, how people will pay a premium for a live dealer over a computer-generated one. Why is that?
Because they don't trust the RNG. Yeah. So when things are going their way, when they're winning, obviously you trust it.
No, you don't need to, really.
You don't need to. But I think what's difficult for most of society to understand is the massive size and volume of some of these transactions. Where people wager 100,000 US on one hand of baccarat.
It blows me away when I think about it.
It's staggering. Yeah. It's a car or a house in some countries. And there are people that will do that all day long. And when you put 100,000 US on one hand of Baccarat and you lose, if the streak goes against you, you start to say to yourself, is this a fair place to gamble? So because of that, the concept of live dealers has been introduced, and we have dealers that stand around roulette wheels and deal cards all day long. It's expensive to operate. You have, lamps for in cameras and sound systems.
So we're actually talking live dealers on video, not live dealers as in person.
And then you have to get that video delivered to your customers through CDNs. The CDNs are expensive. The fiber lines are expensive.
Kind of hilarious when you think about it too. I mean.
And if you go on YouTube and you search for live dealer scams, you can pretty quickly find that there's been scenarios where people are splicing video in.
That was my immediate thought. Yeah, I mean, surely that can be gamed as much as anything else.
You can game it as much as anything else. Right. It's like a sleight of hand. What you can't game is math, right? Math is math. It's either right or it's wrong.
That's right.
And we think, so the concept of public keys and private keys, it really stems from the crypto wallet, right? We've all learned how crypto wallets are generated, how transactions are generated, how we sign transactions. It's just a natural extension of that technology and applying it to prove to people that they're getting a fair game.
That's pretty awesome. Like, I mean, how ready is all of this to go now? Like, how far down the road are you?
Oh, provably fair gaming has actually existed, I think, since Satoshi Dice was around.
That's right, yeah.
It's in various embodiments in different websites out there.
I mean, BitBoss's services specifically, like how ready is that to go? It's ready to go?
It's done, yeah.
So,
it's integrated into our Baccarat game already.
Nice.
So, yep.
Where can people find out more about that?
BitBoss.io.
BitBoss.
Our website.
Excellent. And were you into online gaming before Bitcoin? Or were you into Bitcoin and then you got into online gaming?
So I originally started out my career as an attorney and then got into the gaming space by building a casino with a group of partners. Started to get into the casino space more and more. Created a slot machine leasing company that we took public in Canada. Recently sold it to a large publicly traded gaming company in Las Vegas. But while we were doing that business, I started to think that blockchain technology had so many advantages for the gaming space. We started working on some early technology with peer-to-peer poker, and then just morphed into what we are today.
Awesome, yeah. And did you tinker with the other blockchains and online gaming since first?
I mean, I'd like to tell people we are blockchain agnostic. I'm developing a commercial application, it has to work. I can't let my ego get in the way or my belief that one technology is better than the other technology. But when it came to gaming, this was the change. And we could see it coming, and it was a little slower than we thought. But finally, I would say January of 2019, things started to really gel and come together. And that's when we realized we can do a commercially scalable platform that people will adopt.
Excellent. There you go, you heard it. BSV is the chain.
Yes, it is.
Matthew Dickson, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
And I look forward to seeing bitboss.io.
Thank you.
In future.
Have a good day.